Hi, this is Shay Jackson with Hype Math and Reading. In today's video, we will be reviewing for the Texas STAAR math test for 8th graders. Our concept is comparing rational numbers. This is part 2. Remember, 8th graders, your attitude determines your direction. Do you need a math or reading tutor? We offer virtual one-on-one and group tutoring for 2nd to 8th grade students. Parents, you could click the link in the description box to sign up for a free 30-minute consultation. We have our 8th grade STAAR Math Review Workbook available for purchase in our store. The link is in the description box so that you can grab yours today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and smash that like button so that you will be alerted to new videos we upload, and spread the word about Hype Math and Reading. We greatly appreciate your support. So let's talk about comparing and ordering numbers. We need to follow these steps. Number 1, change all numbers to the same form, whether it's a decimal or percent. 2, we're going to compare the numbers, or we're going to read the instructions to order the numbers. Let's look at an example. For number 1, we are comparing 8/9 and 90%. And for number 2, the square root of 16 and the square root of 8. So let's dive into number 1. We are going to convert both numbers to a decimal. So 8/9 is equal to 0.88, and for 90% it is equal to 0.9 or 0.90. Since 0.88 has a number in the hundreds place, that is why we put the 0 there for 0.90. Now that we've converted the numbers to the same form, the next thing we're going to do is compare the numbers. And we can see that 0.88 is less than 0.90. Remember, 8th graders, whenever you're comparing numbers, the open mouth or the alligator mouth always opens up to the larger number. So if you can't remember, okay, what is the less than sign or what is the greater than sign? Listen, remember, the largest number, the mouth, the alligator is going to eat, and it opens up to the larger number. So let's look at number 2. We have the square root of 16 and the square root of 8. Again, we are going to change our numbers to the same form. We're going to make it a decimal or a whole number. And in our previous video, we did show how to use the calculator for square root part 1 and part 2. So after you finish this video, if you still need help with calculator skills, go to that video and it shows you how you can use your calculator, okay? So in my calculator, I'm going to put in the square root of 16, and we can see that is equal to 4, and the square root of 8 is equal to 2.83. Now that we have both numbers in the same form, the next thing I'm going to do is compare the numbers. And we see that 4 is greater than 2.83, so that means the square root of 16 is greater than the square root of 8. And remember that inequality sign, 8th graders, it always opens up to the larger number. Now that we've reviewed comparing numbers, let's look at some of our problems. Here is number 5, and again, you can grab your 8th grade workbook to follow along with us. The link is in the description box. Number 5 says, 4 plumbers estimated the length of the radius of a cylindrical pipe. The estimates made by the plumbers are listed. Which list shows the numbers from greatest to least? All right, so let's look at the different measurements of the plumbers. Plumber W estimated that the radius had a length of 3/25 inches. Plumber X estimated that the radius had a length of the square root of 3/11 inches. Plumber Y estimated that the radius had a length of 9/100 inches, And Plumber Z estimated that the radius had a length of pi over 24 inches. So let's look at our answer choices. For A, we see 9 over 100, pi over 24, 3 over 25, and the square root of 3 over 11. For B, we have the square root of 3 over 11, pi over 24, 3 over 25, 9 over 100. For C, we have 9 over 100, 3 over 25, pi over 24, the square root of 3 over 11. And for D, we have the square root of 3 over 11, 3 over 25, pi over 24, and 9 over 100. So now that we know all the information about our question, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what are we looking for? We are looking for the list that shows the numbers from greatest to least, or the largest number to the smaller number, okay? Now that we know what we're looking for, the next thing we need to determine is what information can help find the answer. So in order to do that, we need to pull out our handy dandy calculator and calculate all of the numbers, because again, we said we need to put all of our numbers in the same form, okay? So for Plumber W, when we type 3 over 25 in the calculator, we see that that converts into decimal form of 0.12 inches, okay? For Plumber X, when we put in the square root of 3 over 11 or divided by 11, our decimal is 0.16 inches. So there's one thing that I do want to mention when putting the square root of 3 in. What you have to do, and you notice on the display that there's a open parentheses, the square root of 3, and then the close parentheses. One of the things that I had to do to ensure that the calculator did not calculate divided by 11 as well is to use the right arrow to show that this is all for the parentheses and then divide by 11, okay? And I rounded to the nearest hundredths place. Now, Plumber Y had a length of 9 over 100. When I press that in the calculator, we see that in decimal form, that is 0.09 inches. And for Plumber Z, we put in pi over 24, and that is converted to 0.13 inches, okay? So now that we have all of our numbers in the same form, in decimal form, the next thing we need to discover is, how do we solve this problem? And if you see 8th graders, I've color-coded the numbers so you can follow along with the plumber and also their original number and also what the decimal conversion is. So when we look at all of the numbers, we need to determine what place every number is. And our list is our numbers will be listed from greatest to least. So again, we're going to look for the largest number and then go all the way down to the smallest number in descending order, okay? So first we see that Plumber X is the larger number, 0.16 inches is the greatest number. That will be first. Second will be pi 24, because converted it is 0.3 inches. That's the second highest number or the second greatest number. Third is 3 over 25. That is equal to 0.12 inches. And then last, our smallest number is 9 over 100, because converted to decimal form, it is 0.09 inches. That's the smallest length, okay? So this is how we solve the problem. We need to order our numbers from greatest to least, or the largest number to the smallest number. Now that we've done that, how do we find the correct answer? Well, what we need to do is look at our answer choices to determine which one shows our list and it matches the list that we have, and that will tell us what the correct answer is. So take time to think. Now, we notice that the square root of 3 over 11 is first, right? So that eliminates A and C because no, they do not start with the square root of 3 over 11. And then next is pi over 24. So that eliminates D because D has 3 over 25. So our correct answer is B. B is the correct list that shows the numbers from greatest to least. Good job. Now let's move to question number 6. 4 students are each trying to raise the same amount of money for a class trip. The table below shows how much of each student's goal has been met. Which list shows the numbers in order from least to greatest? And that means from the what? Yes, from the smallest number to the largest number. All right, so let's look at our chart. We see that it says fundraiser progress. On the left-hand column, it's the student. On the right-hand side is part of goal met. For Chelsea, we see that it is 0.7. For Devin, it is 2/3. For Huang, it's 5/8. And for Marcella, it is 65%. Now, as you notice, all of those are not in the same form. So yes, we do need to convert them. Let's look at our answer choices. For F, we have 0.7, 65%, 5/8, 2/3. For G, we have 0.7, 5/8, 65%, 2/3. H, we have 5/8, 65%, 2/3, 0.7. And for J, we have 5/8, 2/3, 65%, 0.7. Now that we have all of the information of our question, what is the most important question? Yes, what are we looking for? Okay, we are looking for the list showing the numbers in the table from least to greatest. Again, that means the smallest number and it's to the largest number. Okay, that is what least to greatest means. So now that we know what we're looking for, what information can help us find the answer? In order for us to discover the information, we need to convert all of our numbers to the same form. That is really the only way we can truly solve this problem, okay? So that is what we're going to do. We already know that Chelsea is in decimal form and her amount is 0.70. For Devin, it says 2/3. So we're going to pull out our handy dandy calculator and put in 2 divided by 3. And you see it's 0.6 and it continues on with the sixes, but we're going to round to the nearest hundredth place. So Devin's decimal number is 0.67. For Huang, we put in 5 divided by 8, and that is 0.63. And for Marcella, she is a percent. In order to convert a percent to a decimal, we are going to divide by 100. So 65 divided by 100 is 0.65, okay? So now we have all of our numbers in the same form. Now that we've done that, how are we going to solve the problem? Since we know everyone's decimal form, what we need to do is put our list from least to greatest, okay, in ascending order, okay? That means from the smallest to the largest. So the smallest decimal or the least number out of the 4 students is Huang is first with 0.63. The second number will be Marcella with 0.65. Next is Devon with 0.67. He's third. And fourth, with the highest number, is Chelsea with 0.70. Now that we know how we solve the problem, the next thing we need to do is discover what is the correct answer, okay? So we know that Huang's number needs to be first in order to find out how the original number was written. All we need to do is look at our chart, and Huang is 5/8. So now that we know 5/8 should be first, that means we can eliminate F and G, right? Because it starts with 0.7, and no, that is not correct. 5/8 should be first because we are ordering from our least, which means smallest number, to greatest, which means our largest number. Second is Marcella. Okay, so we're going to look over at our chart and we see that 65% should be the second number. Next is Devon. We're looking at the chart. We see that Devon is 2/3. And last or fourth is Chelsea, and her number is 0.7. Now, do you see the answer out of our answer choices? The only ones we really need to pay attention to are H and J. And that's something you should do, 8th graders. Whenever you're solving a problem, when you know the first answer, especially when ordering numbers, whether it's rational numbers, integers, whatever the case may be, once you know what that first number should be, and you look at the answer choices, if that's not the first number, go ahead and cross out those answers because you know that increases your chances of getting it right. You don't even need to pay attention to those because they already started off wrong. So a good tip when taking a test. So now that we know the numbers in order from least to greatest, our correct answer is H. H shows our list order from least to greatest. And that is it, 8th graders, for part 2 of comparing and ordering rational numbers. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and smash that like button. We offer tutoring services for 2nd to 8th grade students, and we have our 8th grade math review workbook available for purchase in our store. This is Shay Jackson with Hype Math and Reading. I will talk to you later.